Okay, so now we are on to chapter 7. Let's quickly go through the MCQ, fill in the blanks, match the following, and a small short answer questions. So, according to Nichiren, why are his followers able to accept and uphold the Lotus Sutra now? Because of the strong karmic ties with the Lotus Sutra from past existences. So, our original self is Bodhisattva of the earth. We were present at Eagle Peak during ceremony in the air where we took the vow in front of in front of Shakyamuni Buddha and many treasures Buddha and Bodhisattva superior practice as our leader that we will propagate this mystic law in the latter day of the law. And we were directly trained by the Buddha himself. So that kind of a strong karmic ties we have, and it is not a coincidence that we are chanting and we are practicing and upholding the Lotus Sutra in the current lifetime. What does fruit of Buddhahood in the future directly depend on? So fruit of Buddhahood in the future depends on how I am upholding Lotus Sutra in present. Remember, the if we have to look at the past, look at the present. If I have to look at the future, then again look at the present. And in the last chapter we have extensively discussed why living with the intent that this can be my last moment, why living in the present is the most important thing. Past rounds of birth and death in delusion are described by a dream. So our original self is Buddhahood. So this is all delusion, and we are suffering. The with the sufferings of birth and death is because of the dream, because of the delusion we are in. Encountering nature in Buddhism in this lifetime signifies a deep connection from past lifetimes. Continuing faith in present ensures that we get into the Buddha realm, and once we get into Buddha realm, then for the eternity, for the future existence, we will be in the Buddha realm. So when we will be born next time, we will be freely able to choose time, date, the conditions where, and there will be no hindrance, and we will be born very quickly as well. How can present actions impact the past? So we have discussed it many a times that according to Buddhism, it's not present and future, and it's not past and present. It is always past, present, and future. So whatever actions we are doing, it is not just helping us to move the needle in the present and future, but it also impacts the past. So it is not a linear relationship. It is not a linear time scale that past, present, and future are linearly arranged. However, as per Buddhism, it is circulatory motion. The present has a capacity to impact future and past as well. That can only happen when it is imagined in the form of a circulatory motion, right? How we do that? Because when we make a determination in present that I'm not letting my tendencies to overcome me, I'm not letting the things to I'm going to change the path and the destiny of my family, myself, then ultimately I am doing away with my past patterns, and that's how I'm impacting the past. Life and death as function of mystic law represent the awakened reality perceived by the Buddha. So that is the actual reality, which is life and death are the functions of mystic law. Birth and death in the nine worlds are described as a dream. The eternal and unchanging world of Buddhahood is described as a true awakened realm. So the true awakened realm, the original self of us, is the Buddhahood, which is there in each one of us. You strengthen your faith day by day and month after month. That basically means we need to grow our faith continuously, otherwise devils will take advantage. The indigo dye metaphor means that when we repeated practice deepens and enriches one life state. So indigo dye analogy is that when something is dyed in indigo again and again, then that particular cloth become more bluer than indigo itself. That basically means when we continue to exert ourselves in two way of practice, then our practice deepens and ultimately it enriches our life state. It has multiple meanings. Then blue deeper than indigo can also signifies that mentor disciple relationship, that when you follow the path of mentor and disciple, then ultimately you can achieve greater heights than the mentor itself, and that is the ultimate dream, or the dream of the every mentor, every teacher, right? That my student becomes better than me. So blue deeper than indigo means that Nichiren Daishonin says that continue to practice and excel me also. The future attainment of Buddhahood does not mean um, becoming transcendent and separate from the Saha world. So when we say that, when you die, if you have attained Buddhahood in this lifetime, you will be getting into the Buddha realm. It doesn't mean that you are going into Nirvana. It doesn't mean that you are going to some other pure world. You are continuing into the life state again and again, of life state of birth and the life cycle of birth and death. You will continue to be part of that. It is not something that you are transcended into some other world and you are separate from the Saha world. And why you continue to reborn again and again? Because universe key language, the universe life state, original life state is compassion, and Buddha's life state is compassion. So because of the compassion, to awaken all the people to the mystic law, that is a one great reason you continue to come back to the Saha world again and again. Why is the flame of practice easily extinguished? So we talked about the Nichiren Daishonin says strengthen your faith day by day and one month after month. Why? Because as soon as we slacken, the flame of practice gets easily extinguished, right? Why is it so? Because we get shrouded by the desires, fame, fortune, three obstacles and four devils. As soon as we get caught off the guards, as soon as we drop our guards, all these things will start coming up. So that's the reason the we have to be very conscious of our faith and our strength of the faith. Deepening faith equals deepening prayer. So that is something very profound. So how would you recognize that your faith is getting deepened? How would you recognize your faith is getting strengthened day by day? Just look at the prayers you are doing, the kind of prayers you are doing. So if you have a deep prayers are getting deepened, they are moving away from you in a sense that you are not just praying for yourself, you start praying for others, you are praying more and more for others. And you have a becoming a larger, your life state is increasing, your heart is becoming bigger. That is something shows up that your faith is getting deeper. According to the text, prayer reflects one's life state. So that is something everyone has noticed. What kind of life state we are in, accordingly we do the prayers as well. And that's the reason it is said that deepening faith means deepening prayer. Now, U division stage is fundamentally, so in this chapter, Sensei talks about the four divisions, or primarily three main buckets: U division, mentor, men's and women division, and men elderly group division as well. So U division is a time when the person do the self discovery and do the training, so that if they can take on the world, they can take on all the challenges. Nichiren declaration, I will be the pillar, eyes, and great sheep of Japan. This demonstrates the lifelong steadfastness of faith. So that kind of a highlight condition he had even in the exile. What triggers fundamental darkness? So when we slacken in our resolve, when our faith goes down, that is the time the fundamental darkness take over. So that's the reason Nichiren Daishonin says again and again that strengthen your faith day by day, month after month. Maintaining faith require mentor, disciple, and many important one in mind. SJ functions to deepen faith through practice and study in accord with Daishonin's teaching. The Indian ashram system divides life according to stages of duty and spiritual development. SJ's future and youth division corresponds to the Brahmacharya period as per the book. Now, men and women division correspond to implementation and actual proof. So, youth division is the time when we do the self discovery, we identify ourselves, and we do the training. And then when we get into men's and women's division, that is the time till the retirement. That is the time when we are showcasing the actual proofs and we are implementing the practice at our workplace and in our life and society and community at large. Many desert groups represent elders post retirement period. That is a period has been designated as a many treasures group. Now, Toda's guidance that the final part of your life is important. That means that happiness in final years signifies victory. That is the meaning of that. So there is also saying the treasure tower's four sides. So it is said that treasure tower has a four sides. So when it came from the ground, it has the four sides. So those four sides signifies the four kind of a suffering: birth, aging, sickness, and death. However, treasure tower was so much of grandeur and so much of jewel on all the sides. So what does it basically signify? Is that birth, aging, sickness, and death, the delusion is getting vanished, and this delusion of birth, aging, sickness, and death is converting into the four virtues of Buddha. When we manifest Buddhahood, the treasure tower wells forth within us and adorns our life, four phases of life. What are the four phases of life? Birth, aging, sickness, and death. Those birth, aging, sickness, and death gets converted to the four virtues. And what are the four virtues? Eternity, happiness, true self, and purity. Fill in the blanks. Nichiren says followers uphold the Lotus Sutra due to the strong ties from the past existences. Continuing faith now ensures birth in the Buddha realm. Transforming tendency means the past will not repeat. Faith means infinite hope. In strengthen your faith by faith warns that devils will take advantage if we get slacken in our faith. Indigo metaphor teaches that the repeated practices makes life even more deeper. Fundamental darkness is triggered by slackening in faith. Grahast means assuming family and social responsibility. Elders in faith belongs to the many treasures group. The treasure tower symbolizes the four virtues of eternity, purity, happiness, and true self. Birth and death in the nine world are described as a dream, and life and death in the Buddhahood are the awakened reality. Desire for fame and fortune, the three obstacle and four devil, extinguish the flame of practice. Present impacts past, indigo dye metaphor, and lifelong faith. Deepens with repeated effort, so that is indigo dye metaphor. Ends repeating delusion patterns, so present impacting the past, requires daily strengthening, lifelong faith is required. Youth division, man woman division, many treasures group. So maturity and joy in faith, that is many treasures group. Implementation and proof, that is man woman division. Awakening and training is youth division. Desire for fame and fortune, three obstacle and four devils, slackening resolve. External onslaughts triggers fundamental darkness, internal temptation distracting from faith. So desire for fame and fortune is the internal temptation that distracts us from the faith, and three obstacles and four devil comes from our environment. So that is an external onslaught, and desire for fame and fortune is our internal temptation. And when we slacken the resolve, when the resolve gets slackened, then it triggers fundamental darkness. These are few of the short answer questions. I will recommend to pause and go through the questions. Why is encountering nature in Buddhism in this lifetime, not a coincidence? How can the present impact the past according to this chapter? Why must faith be strengthened day by day? How does the SJ structure support lifelong faith? What does it mean to manifest the treasure tower within one's life? So that is something I want to especially focus on. So treasure tower is said to have the four sides that signifies the four kind of a suffering of birth, aging, sickness, and death. When it is getting adorned with Buddhahood, those four kind of a sufferings convert into four which virtues of eternity, happiness, true self, and purity. And treasure tower is none is nowhere else but within our life itself. Why does embracing the Lotus Sutra in this lifetime guarantee future Buddhahood? Because when we are in this lifetime attain Buddhahood, when then we get into the realm of Buddha. What distinguishes the Buddha realm from the nine worlds in terms of life and death? So the nine worlds are like a dream, they are the delusion, and the Buddha realm is the awakened reality. How does deepening prayer reflect deepening faith? So when our faith get deepens, the quality, the life state of our prayer, the life force with which we pray also changes. So that is one of the concrete barometer to check how strong your faith is. So with this, we have concluded the quiz for the chapter 7. Thank you so much.